Hi guys. So we are live. Hi, hi. Hi Naya. Yay, Naya. Naya is the first to be here. So we're marking what is it? Name of attendance. So Naya is number one on the attendance. Hi Naya, good to see you. Good evening, you guys. Happy Sunday. How is everyone doing? I've missed you all. I've actually missed you guys because it's been a while since we did like this live stream talking. Hi, Molly Mo. Okay, okay. I see you. I see my people. Good evening, guys. Good evening. Hi, Irene. Ooh, you guys are coming in. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. How are you guys doing? How has your day been? My day has been interesting. No, not interesting actually. Just at home. Just at home resting, enjoying the weekend. Irene says, "Wait, is this true? Give us the gist, girl. Girl, I have the gist. Okay, I have the full gist, and I'm gonna give it to you guys. It's actually true. It's not clickbait or anything like that. It is true. So, uh, hold on. Let me quickly do this. So yeah, the title does say that China has announced permanent residence to PhD holders who have a work visa, and it's actually true. I've seen a lot of posts concerning it, and some people have also been in the doubt, like, okay, is this actually true and things like that, and it has been confirmed. It's on their website and things like that. So yes, however, this law, typical China, right? They are implementing it like province by province, so it's not open to every city or every province in China. There are, I think the first place it was implemented is Shanghai, and there have been records of success of people who have gotten it. Then I think the next city was the next province was Shenzhen, and I think they kind of like start experimenting these foreign immigration policies in places where there are lots of foreigners, right? So hello, ban. I don't know the middle character. Ban something mean. Hello, you want to ask me something? Okay, go ahead. So as I was saying, yeah, they've implemented it in Shanghai, in Shenzhen, and they usually start implementing it in cities where there are lots of foreigners. For example, Shanghai, Shenzhen is another one. Guangdong province is another one, and I'm also hearing it's actually come to Jiangsu province. So it's like these. Okay, so let me try to find the link. And if you guys want, I might put the screenshot of the actual broadcast that's talking about this information on my community post, because after this live stream, I don't know if I'll make a separate video talking about it again. So I would have shown you guys the news that I read talking about this policy. So basically, it's a policy that says that if you get your PhD in China, and you get a work, like you get a job and a work visa, you are eligible to apply for permanent residency. Of course, you have to pass other checks, such as of course the you have to have your non-criminal record. You can't have any criminal record, and some other documents, but these are just like normal documents that you have normally if you want to apply for like your visa, right? So um Naya says they should do fast and come to Beijing. I know, right? Beijing is the capital city, so they're definitely coming to Beijing. Irene says, is it any PhD or the ones who got them from China? It is the ones who got them from China. So your PhD degree has to come from a university in China. So if you go to your PhD from a university outside of China, it's not going to count, unfortunately. But if your PhD is from China, then you can apply with it. Hi, Ella Marie. Hi. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. So yeah, today we are talking China immigration policies. And guys, ever since this news came out, of course at first there were so many, is it true, is it true, is it possible? We all know how China is with immigration policies and things like that. I mean, they don't give citizenship or permanent residency by birth or other ways, even if you've lived here for like 20 years. So for them to suddenly come up and say, oh, okay, if you get your PhD in China, you can get permanent residency. A lot of people were in shock. I mean, the news that I even read, like people were in the comments and they were like, okay, we'll take it when we see, like seeing is believing and things like that. And then the people who published the news, they were like, it's verifiable. You can actually go to their website, the Chinese immigration policy website, and check it out for yourself. Thank you, Ella Marie. Thank you. So this is actually something that they are implementing. Of course, we know that now China, because of course they're trying to step up their game and also, probably become world power, they are trying to be more foreigner friendly. They're trying to, make their immigration policies more friendly. However, I feel like is it a coincidence or is it related that this is actually coming is it just shortly before the whole outrage or outpour of Chinese people or so-called Chinese handlers on Chinese social media bashing black people or like Africans basically and asking them to go back to their country and things like that? I mean, if you are in China, you're a WeChat user, you must have come across one of those videos or one of those comments where it's like maybe black creators or African creators who are in China, they upload their videos and you find all these people, they just come to the comment section and they're saying now say they need to persevere there for 20 years, nothing for them. I know, right? It's crazy. So, but you guys know recently there were all of these hate comments and racist comments. I personally got a handful of them. When I tell you, like on my WeChat channel. And by the way, let me just let you guys in because I know that a lot of you guys that watch me are also like creators. If you're a creator in China, you post on YouTube or Instagram and things like that, you can actually monetize your WeChat channel. So if you have a WeChat account, all you have to do is start posting on your WeChat channel and you can monetize it and actually make money from it. So since WeChat channel got monetized about some months ago, I started posting more frequently on my WeChat channel, and some of my videos have been doing really well. I just post relatable short videos about foreigners' life in China, and some of my videos get, I think one of my videos has like 80k views, and that's something I've never even gotten on YouTube. So I know recently I've been posting like one video in 2 weeks and things like that, but you guys, the struggle is real. Shasha, what I'm trying to say is that I was posting a lot of videos on WeChat's channel, and these people were all over my comment section. Like the moment I post a video, it does not. And you guys know that Chinese people are a lot, so their algorithm just pushes your videos like really fast. The moment I post a video, it's not even up to how many minutes. I'll just go to my comments. You will see black, they'll just call all these racist names and things like that, and they'll say leave China or go back to your country, China is not for you, this is that. Like they were so horrible, but personally those things don't even get to me. Okay, I mean, I saw some people or I talked to some people, and some people actually really get affected by these things. But me personally, I don't know. I just think I'm built different. Okay, I just really laugh. Like if anything, they crack me up. I'm just like, hey, yeah, this one is so pained. But because I don't want that kind of negativity, in my comment section, I just delete all the racist comments and things like that. Hi, Victor. Hi. Irene is laughing. Yes, now really didn't know. Congrats. Yes, you really, like if you post videos on WeChat channel, you can actually make money. I think I've made about 20 yuan or something. Yes. And I can actually tell you guys because you guys know I don't hide stuff from you. And the way I'm even looking at this now, maybe the money I will make from WeChat very soon it will be more than the money I've been making on YouTube for the past 1 year. ever since this channel got monetized, you guys, the money that is there, maybe the WeChat channel money will soon become more than the money of YouTube. But that's on a lighter note. Yeah, WeChat channel pays, so you should actually post your short content there in long form, just the way you post reels on Instagram and reels on Facebook. Just post your reels on WeChat channel, and it gets views. If it gets views, if you post a lot of videos, they'll send you a notification, and then you just accept the monetization policies and things like that, and they'll start adding ads to your comment section, and start paying you money basically. So yeah, as I was saying, a lot of all these comments that are coming from all these people, and the funny thing is that these handles, right, they have like pictures of American policemen, but they are Chinese names. Okay, so they will just come and be commenting all sort of things and say, oh, where's the police, somebody help, there's this, there's that, grab the crazy, the crazy like comments, right? And actually I even got some people in my DM, because WeChat also has like a DM where people can talk to you, and I got some people in my DM that they'll come and tell me, oh, hi creator, I know that recently you've been experiencing all these racist things on Chinese social media. Don't take them seriously. They are trying to jeopardize China-African relationship. Apparently in the coming months or weeks, as at now, it is something leaders from China or from Africa are coming to China to have their Africa-China summit, where they're going to discuss the future of Africa and China relationship, which has been forging strong all these years. Now, a lot of people have different ideas and different opinions about these things, okay? And honestly, I'm not even here to side anybody or to divide and conquer, but I'm just bringing to you guys what's happening basically. Naya said, let me go and check. You better go and check. You are consistent there. Yeah, I just try, honestly. And actually, I've even been posting like reels that I have on Instagram. I just take them from Instagram and go and post it in WeChat. So that's the good thing about these platforms. You can recycle content. The same thing you post on Instagram, you post on WeChat, you post like it works. So after they called me a village girl, I lost strength. Oh my god, you just have to, especially the attack that we even get from the groups when we post our channel links, right? You just have to love it, okay? No, it's not funny. Naya, don't mind those people. But anyway, you guys, this conversation that we are having tonight, it's not just going to be me talking, okay? I really want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you guys are thinking, especially like with this new development. I don't know if you guys knew about it before, or if this is your first time hearing about it. Even if this is your first time, I want to know what you think. So I want to make it possible for you guys to join the live stream. Let me see, so that we can just share, okay? Because this thing, okay. So I'm just going to copy this link and paste it in the chat box. This thing that we're talking about, it is concerning everybody, because now people are thinking, okay, I knew there are lots of people who got their PhD from China. So if you can get permanent residence in China, right, the question now is, number one, what does this permanent residency entail, right? What do I stand to gain? What are the good things that I can get out of it? Is it going to be exactly the same as Chinese hukou, like the Chinese citizenship status? Is it going to be exactly the same? Or some people are speculating that the only thing that this permanent residency is going to save foreigners from is just having to renew your visa every year or every 2 years and things like that, because that part is already annoying enough. So even if that's the only thing it gives, I'll take it. But some other people are like, okay, no, it should be more than that, okay? Because as it is currently, you guys know that there are a lot of things that foreigners are limited from in China, because we don't have Chinese, they call it Shenfenzhen. Shenfenzhen is like identification number. There are a lot of things like foreigners you can't buy a house, you can't do, like, there's so many things that you cannot do. You can't take a loan from the bank, so many things, right, that we are restricted from doing. Now the question is, is this permanent residency going to include all these other benefits? So you guys, I just shared the link on the live chat. So if you want to hop on the live, please just click the link. I invite you in. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. Because this case is concerning everybody. I'm pretty sure that everybody here is in China. So let me know what you think. And it's interesting because um you know, earlier today, yeah, that was this morning. I was watching Diana Ekweme, her live stream where she was talking about the alphabet people, okay. And she had all these people on the live stream who were sharing their thoughts. I mean, I know some of us here watch her as well, so I don't know if anybody else caught up on that live stream. But you guys, that live stream was so eye-opening. I mean, I have been seeing all these videos and talks about not like news. Basically, if you read the news and things like that, you know what's going on in the West. You know that the dollar is crashing, okay. And of course we know that China is also using this opportunity to kind of like establish their presence in the world, to show that okay, they can be what America has been to the world all this while. So now it's a question of where is the best place to be, right? I mean, that was basically what we were talking about in that live stream. So you had all these people who were saying things like, oh, we have to return to the motherland, we have to return to Africa, because like the West is, they are trying to keep us away from Africa, and so that we can be enriching their economy. Basically, we know that the crazy move, like mass exodus from Africa to Western world, like recently, it's crazy. I mean, here on the channel, we have been doing this Japa series where, and it was just because for one, I wanted to understand people's thought process. I wanted to understand what people are thinking, why people are thinking the way they are thinking, because I have a lot of people who are leaving China to other countries of the world. So I just decided, okay, I'm going to talk to these people, find out, okay, why did they have to leave China, and what is their experience in the new country that they are moving to. Now, there are so many like people who are also saying, oh, okay, it's not even enough to just move to other developed countries. Who is going to go back to Africa and develop Africa? Which is even what those trolls were asking us on, WeChat that time. Even though some of them will go extreme to say like really mean and hurtful things, but for the most part, they just had one message. They were like, go back to your country. China is not Africa. China is not your country. Go back to Africa. Go and develop your country. One even came to my comment and told me in Chinese, Menu. She even called me Menu, like beautiful lady. When after you graduate, go home to your country. Okay. I did that. Okay. I just really laughed when I read that comment, because I'm just like, this one, are you trying to be harsh or are you trying to be gentle? Like, which one? Pick a struggle. But that was like the majority of things that they were saying. Oh, go back to your country. Oh, do this. Oh, do that. So it's like now the question is, okay, is it like should we really be listening to this? Should we really follow this trend of, oh, go back to Africa? Is Africa really like the best place to be right now? Okay, I have a guest. Yay. Molly says, for Chinese being all over Africa, they should never be racist. Then the issue that they cry so loud when they are racially profiled. Girl, tell me about it. Personally, I don't want this new privilege because this place is just too difficult to live as a foreigner. Girl. Okay, so I'm going to invite Naya. Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. You're welcome.
Thank you.
So Molly says, I don't want this privilege. So Molly, you're not interested in them giving permanent residency to PhD holders, Abi? You wouldn't take it. It's just too difficult to live in as a foreigner. I know the
I,
struggle is real.
I think we
Nine,
don't know the benefits yet, so we can't say whether we want it or not. Maybe when we know
yeah,
the benefits, everybody will be like, we want it, let us just go
true.
for it. Well, I'll read about it, I'll check about it to know the benefits someone can get from it.
Okay. Yes, personally, I will also like do more research about it. But I feel like they're still releasing the information like in batches. Like I
Yeah,
think for now they've not really released like everything concerning the permanent residency. And I feel like for the most part, I feel like it's a try and error thing. Like China, they always just do this thing whereby they will try something out to know if it will, maybe if it will benefit them, or if it, maybe if it's not benefiting them, they'll cancel it.
yeah.
So it's
Not
just
cancel though. There's no benefit for foreigners here. Let that one be the ginger that will make people want to come here.
exactly, exactly. Because now that we are hearing, oh, don't go to the West, this, of course, we know the alphabet, but especially for people who want to like settle down and raise families. It's like, where are we gonna go to? Hi,
South
Ife Jacob.
Africa. Nigeria.
Naya, tell me, talk to me. I saw that you commented in my last video when I said, guys, what's your favorite country to go to? Naya said
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Nigeria. I mean, I don't used to joke with Nigeria like this. I just hope I
Right?
do something for us, I beg. Nigeria is still the best. If
So
you
yeah,
stay outside like this, the whole food, well, it just depends on what people are looking for, sure. Like
mm,
some people believe like as long as they are getting money, if it's food, whether they talk to their families, they can just the money have solved it. But for
yeah.
some people, meaning of life is it's your like if up hungry you now, you eat it, you want to eat a bunch of hair, you want to
Mm,
see your parents, you can easily go over to the week during the weekend and meet them. I
yeah.
like just that. So everybody's own preferences, they're just different. But for me, Nigeria, Nigeria, I just hope the people in government to do something, sha. Then
But
Nigeria,
that's the thing. What if the people in government never do anything?
they will, oh, don't say something. They have to. They have to.
So you're fighting it through.
Yes. Let's be speaking positive for our country. It will come to pass.
Right?
Sha. It might take
Mm,
some time, but we just need the right person to be there.
yeah.
Right people to take instructions and do what they because it's not even the president that may be the problem. You tell someone to do this, a person will carry and put it pocket. What will the government do? So
Mm.
while for Nigeria plenty, I beg. But I'm
And
hopeful. I'm hopeful.
yeah. Irene says, I understand where you're coming from, but if getting a PR will make you eligible for benefits, then that's not bad.
Yes, yes.
Right?
You see more
So
people are coming to China now.
mm, and also people are also saying that because of course with China there has to always be a balance. So now if they are giving these benefits to foreigners, you find out that coming to China will automatically become more difficult. Like getting the visa, you get. So it's like
Mm,
they tie it at this end, they lose it at this end, they tie it at this end. Because China already is like overpopulated. So now, if they now decide to open up like America, like Canada, and say, oh, foreigners can get all these benefits, it's like the whole world will want to come to China because China has like very good, infrastructure. They have like low cost of living and things like that.
they still have
But
limitation, the language barrier. Is it everybody that want to learn new language?
true,
People want to
true.
go to English speaking countries. So
Yeah, yeah, the language barrier is there, Sha.
and then giving PR is not even the major thing safe. What about work? Like what would the person do? Like I don't think China have created that working system. Like if foreigners finish, they can
Mm,
start office work in a bank. How many foreigners have you seen in Chinese bank? Like so it's not even
yeah,
about a permanent resident. They have a lot to do. So it will take years. This is like the first step before people start trying to come here. Is there anybody that wants to be a teacher now? Is there anybody that will teach? So you have to
yeah,
make a lot of
exactly.
adjustment.
Exactly. And I feel like the even the teaching thing, right? It's not sustainable. At a
Yeah.
point, yeah, at a point it's not even going to be. I feel like even now it's not even very lucrative. Right now, if you want to teach, you also have to have like so many other degrees and so many other like certifications for
And
you
you
to
have
get
to be a native speaker or fake it.
fake it till you make it.
Yes. Or some they will tell you have to be fair African. So you have to choose one
Mm,
that
light
bleach your
skin.
skin.
Man, it's crazy. So
So
when you said how many like foreign people have you seen working in the bank? Obviously, like something else that will have to come into play is like the integration. I feel like
yeah,
the social integration into community, like that's something that I don't know when is going
it
to
will
happen.
take time. It will take time.
Okay. Let me see what people are saying. Molly says the trauma that our kids go through at Chinese school is too much. Wow.
My dear.
Molly, tell us about it. Do you want to come on the live stream and talk to us about that? Wow. My kid, my baby hasn't started going to school yet, so I don't even know. I don't really have experience about that. But guys, I know you have been in China for a long time. Let me ask you this question. Do you find it easy having a family in China? What is the cost for foreign kids in schools? Naya, over to you. Do you find it easy having a family in China?
I don't know where I pressed. No, it's expensive. No, I think it depends on where you stay. But here in Beijing, it's expensive. Both school, feeding, house rent, everything. So I don't know. But when I saw that people's zone, I'll be like, I don't feel it's this Beijing sha. Like when I hear
Right.
about somebody saying they pay like let me say 2,000 as monthly rent or 1,500 as school fees per month, I'm like, please let's just move to that place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't find it easy. And also the social integration you also said, like now, if I go out to the kids, Chinese people just be looking at us like everybody, some they'll just carry their keys and leave. Like
Yeah.
I think I did a video that day that all of them left, and I was
I
asking
saw
me,
it
"Mommy,
at the
what's happening?" Like,
playground.
please, no. Mm-mm. It's better when the kids are grown. When they are small, they don't understand all those things.
Right?
But I
Yeah.
just feel it depends on where the person stays. But it doesn't know because there's one woman when Arize was 3, I was looking for school. So she was like, I should leave Arize at home to grow, like to be able to tell me, Mommy, this happened in school today. That should just
Oh,
be homeschooling him until he's able to express himself. If
himself.
they bully him in school, if the teacher did this, he can tell me that there's no need to rush. That her daughter is still at home even at 4. I should just allow him to be at home, that here is not our place. So
Wow.
they still have a lot to I don't know, Sha. If
Yeah.
you find a good school for your child, good, but I've not found, Sha. Unless it's international school, which is very expensive, very, very
Mm.
expensive. So if you want to mix with Chinese, you have to carry your heart like this. Empty your eyes, see you take them.
So what I'm hearing you say is, for like the cost of living, answering Irene's question, it depends on the city. So bigger cities like Beijing, Shanghai will obviously be more expensive because I remember even when Naya talked about like her cost of giving birth in China, I was shouting because me, I was already complaining that I spent money to give birth here in Nigeria when I spent about 12,000 RMB. When I had Naya's money, my mouth, I had
No,
no words.
it's just so expensive here, Sha.
Yeah,
Very expensive. So
maybe
if they want,
depends. Mm.
um, I can hear you.
No, go ahead.
So if they want foreigners to come here, they have to make a lot of adjustments. They have
True.
to. So maybe this one is just the first step, then others will come later. You cannot
Mm.
say you want people to live here permanently. What would they be doing? Like, if you want to give them permanent residence, okay,
Yeah.
you have to open
What
up so they
other
can work.
jobs? Yeah, apart
Even
from
in
teaching
hospitals,
English.
yeah,
Mm.
even in hospitals, even though we go to international department, I've never seen like African doctor or nurse
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
these
me too.
international hospitals I used to go to. So they're not ready. When they're ready, all of us will know. Yeah.
Okay. So, Molly, we are still waiting for you to tell us about the trauma that our kids go through. If Jacob says, me self miss Naija, I hope things get better, my dear. No place like home. Oh. Naya, I love you. This thing for work after graduation is very important. True.
Irene,
Because
I love you too. I love you.
Because I mean, if you're planning to start a family, of course you have to be financially ready. There has to be a source of income. So the
Yes.
getting a job is very important. The
Yes.
native speaker thing. We have been speaking English ever since we can remember, but we are not.
Mm.
We are still not native speakers. It's
Even
crazy.
even when you do the native spray, they still want your skin to be native. I see some other I still be vexing me like this. I this one is
Yeah,
not.
true, true. They will. Yeah, it's not even enough to also like have a passport from a native country.
Yes.
Sometimes your skin has. It's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, but I feel like because the thing is right. They are like I don't know if you've been seeing the links also like recently on WeChat. It's like some Chinese people are even leaving China in droves. Like some of them
Really?
were caught at the Mexican border. Did you see that
Okay. Yes,
news?
I saw it. I saw that one.
Yeah, some of them were caught in going trying to enter America. Some of them were caught trying to enter Canada. So
Wow.
yeah, so it's like Chinese people are also leaving China. Americans are leaving the US to come to China. Africans are leaving Africa to go to the West.
the the grass is green at the other point.
It's crazy. So
Everyone
the
is
thing,
tired.
yes. So the thing now is, what is really going on, and what should our focus be? Because you have people that are saying, okay, yes, people have their genuine reasons for relocating from Africa to the West, even to China and things like that. But of course we know all the things that are going on in the West, and I mean someone who is relocating will also be hoping to start a family where they are going to. So I think it's
Yeah.
also really important that we put into focus what it will be like raising a family in the country we are moving to, not just say to move for moving sake. Which also brings me to raising a family in China. I mean, apart from the high expenses, high cost of, I feel like when it comes to like morals, I feel like China is still safer than the
Yeah.
West. So it's like China is not a place where they will force all those things on you. I don't know. Naya, what do you think?
Yeah, I think China is okay on morals. There's this IE that used to stay with us before. When I read it, she used to pinch her wrist.
When he does something
Like
wrong.
when he does, maybe he will just fling hanger or something. IE will
Mm.
just pinch him like this. Like he'll be telling me, I should not allow this boy to spoil. Like when he does something, I should pinch him hard so that and what are you so that he will understand. So I feel like they are more like African people when it comes to discipline kids, maybe, but the new generation women are not like that. The new generation moms are like US people, because my friend, she doesn't like beating her child or all of that. But those old IEs, I think they are more of African than these new moms. But it's
Mm,
still okay. They don't put eye in what you and your baby are doing. Like more like not like other places when you beat your child, they might call police for you and all of that.
mm,
That's it.
yeah. I mean, it's crazy the laws they are passing in these Western countries.
Yes, especially with this new trend of
Yes.
LS. Yes,
Yes.
new trend of the whole thing. There's some, if you don't accept, they can even take your child from you. Ha! I said, ha! Now, wow, on top waiting
Like
again.
it's crazy, and now it's a thing of, and of course now we are seeing like also exodus of Africans in these Western countries back to Africa. And Diana Ekweme, she said something during her live stream. She was like, sometimes it takes you actually leaving Africa to appreciate Africa.
Yes.
So now they've gone to the West and their eyes have seen the shaggy that is in the West.
You know, if you tell people at home, like me, I don't even advise anybody if you want to travel. If you want to travel, travel. Me, I'm not
Mm,
the one that will come and tell you stay or don't do anything, because my life and your life are not the same. So if you say you want to travel, I will encourage you to travel, Sha.
yeah.
Because if you start telling people don't travel, they will be like, but you are not in Nigeria now, so why are you
I-
telling?
yeah,
uh
exactly.
So, but when you travel, you find out that home is always the best, Sha. Home is better.
Mm, mm,
It's just that money parts. You know, when you get money here, change it to naira, it might be bigger. But it seems that you're not
yeah.
even spending in naira, so it's almost the
Yeah, you're
same.
still exactly. You're spending in that country's money.
Yes, it's almost the same thing.
Yeah. So Molly says, name calling. Imagine it happening while you're not around. Molly, you need to. Is it possible for you to hop on the live? Like, we need to hear your voice so that you explain to us these things you are typing in the chat box. You don't need to open your video if you're not camera ready. You can just like close your video and talk to us through your mic. It's not even easy for those who got married to these countries. It's not. So, which is even
Not easy for them, but all of them they have the government backing now. I feel they are enjoying it more than us.
really like the people who got married to Chinese people.
Yes, now actually they will give them job as per married to our
They
people.
that's the thing, they don't.
Really? So
I
what's the
thought
benefit?
if you're on your spouse's, like if you have a spouse visa, you can also work. Yes. Like
But
there's
work now.
no
Married Chinese people work. So why can't foreigner that is married to their own son or daughter work?
yeah, that's the crazy thing. You have to actually get like a proper work visa for you to be able to get a job. So you can't get a job. Yeah, Irene says they don't get a job. Oh, Naya has left. Yeah, so the thing is, I mean, I saw the story of this man, this African man who is married to a Chinese, but he was recently, okay, not so recent, maybe sometime last year, sent back to his country because he was caught working. So you can imagine how crazy it is. You guys know that it's illegal to work without a proper work visa. So this guy didn't have a work visa and he was teaching. And apparently they had caught him 1, 2, 3 times. And when they caught him the last time, they told him, okay, that's it. Um uh you are going back home. Like they
Sorry,
literally
really cut it. Sorry.
okay, it's okay. So they had to like send this guy back home because they caught him working with a spouse visa. And
Wow.
it was so sad because he's lived in China for a long time. He even had like his children with his Chinese wife, they are even big. So he had to take them with him to Ghana. I think he was from Ghana.
Now
So
wow.
it's crazy. Yeah, if you don't still have the work permit, you can't work even if you're married to Chinese.
Hmm. So what's
Yes.
not now?
Exactly. What's not the benefit? Especially for the guys that will get married to Chinese girls. I heard that they have to pay a lot of dowry. I think
Yeah.
our own guys don't pay that kind of dowry.
Mm.
What?
It's love, Sha. Love is the benefit.
I know, right?
Yeah. People marry for different reasons. It's love, Sha.
Yeah. Okay, Molly
Mm.
says she's cooking. No problem. No problem. But you guys, I was talking with a Chinese guy was it last week? So I even filmed some things, some parts of our conversations, but I don't know if I plan to like edit it and post. But it's like we talked for a long time in Chinese, and I don't know if I can subtitle it for people who cannot understand Chinese. But basically, what we're talking about was I don't know. It just seemed like the guy saw me, and I was like an outlet for him to pour out his frustration. We talked for like an hour plus, and this guy was telling me it's like I know that even as foreigners, right, we can still go by. Like maybe we have a job or we have scholarship, we have stipends, we are still comfortable. But the truth
Yeah.
is that a lot of Chinese people are in hardship. Like a lot. Like ever since this COVID time, a lot of Chinese people have like he was telling me that I don't know if you guys know, but apparently in China, there are some situations whereby someone is unable to get a wife, like someone is unable to get married because they can't afford bride price.
Ah.
And it's not just possible, but there are a lot.
Hmm.
There was earlier I met a Chinese old man where I go to buy goat meat. Actually, I met this guy and he was talking to me, and he was just all chatty and he was asking me, are there people in your country who didn't get married because they didn't have money? I'm just like, no. Even the poorest of the poor will find their fellow poor people and get married to. So they're not. And he told me, oh, that is good that he doesn't have a wife because he didn't have money to get married. But when he said it to me that day, I didn't really understand what he was saying. I'm like, how is it possible? Like, how is it possible? I didn't really grasp it until this young guy was breaking it down for me the other day. Like, there are people who cannot, because in China, before you get married as a Chinese, you have to have a house, you have to buy a house, not to even rent, buy a house, buy a car, have a job, and you have to pay. Like, I think he said about it's either 200,000 RMB or 2 million RMB. You have to pay as bride price to the father of the girl, and it's like a lot, especially like compared to what they are earning, like what the average Chinese person is earning. So in that kind of situation, a lot of them just end up not getting married. Like, they call it chubuchi. Chubuchi means unable to marry. Unable to marry because you don't have money. So I don't feel like this is like the worst of the worst, because imagine you being lonely for life just because you couldn't find someone to marry. Ella said, the poor marry the poor, marry your mates, my dear. And yeah, I mean, in Africa, that's what it would be. So I actually tried to tell him, okay, what about, poor people marrying poor people? I mean, everybody, like, you can actually marry someone of your own level. If you're not so rich and the girl's father is not so rich, he cannot be demanding so much money. And he was like, you wish. He legit told me that is even the poor people that are looking for people like bigger money, bigger bride price. So that even if the girl's father is as poor as anything, he would want you to pay like a lot of bride price. So that's like phenomenon does not even work. And he was now, of course, he was telling me a lot about, like Chinese status. When it comes to like salary, he was asking me, okay, do you know how much a like an average person earns? And he told me, I think he told me that an average person earns 5,000 RMB, 4,000 RMB a month. And he's like, okay, if you're living in a city like Nanjing, and you have to pay rent, you have to pay, you have to feed yourself, you have to do this, you have to do that. At the end of the day, how much money can you save? Like, how much money can you save to buy a whole house? And of course, we know that housing is like very, very expensive in China. Like, and it's not even like a house like we buy houses in Africa. It's just an apartment that you buy. So in a tall building, you just buy a flat. Basically, we call it a flat in Africa. Maybe 2 rooms, 3 rooms, and a parlor and toilet, kitchen, and all of that. So you just buy a unit. But just buying a unit is like so expensive. And these are things that you have to do before you think of marrying anybody. So he's like, now that a lot of Chinese like young men that they don't care about getting married. So you see them just being in a relationship for years and years and years and years. And it's like, because they're like, why do I have to get married? Like, marriage doesn't favor them. That, and this is really what his opinion is. And he's also representing like majority of the Chinese young men out there. He's like, that the thought of the average Chinese guy is, marriage doesn't favor me, why should I get married? It's like you have to suffer your whole life just to get married. He told me that it is only the ladies that enjoy marriage, so that they might as well just keep dating.
Now,
And I'm
wow.
just I'm telling you, I'm just thinking about this because I know that most times, we ladies want to actually get married. So I'm sure the girl will be like, when are we going to see my parents? When are we going to see my parents?
They
So
cannot negotiate the bride price or what?
I even asked him, I told him there has to be like a situation whereby if the girl loves the guy so much, I mean, we do it in Africa, right? We negotiate bride prices. The father, like if the guy is not very well to do, the father can say, okay, don't do this, don't do that. Just negotiate something that negotiable. So why don't they do that? And he told me, and it's funny. You needed to see this his expression when I'm telling you, he was talking to me like I was his therapist, like with so much expression and so much. You could just really see that he was fed up with everything. So he was like that those situations are like one in like almost zero, basically. That number one, that the main thing is that the reason they ask for like this bride price and for you to have all these things is because you need to sort of convince the father of the girl you want to marry that you are capable of taking care of his daughter. So it's a thing where it's like, if you can't afford basic house or basic car or have a stable job, then how are you going to take care of my daughter? Do you get? So it's like it's like basic. So like just have all these things before you even go to ask somebody for their hand in marriage. So even if he said, even if there are people who will try to negotiate because of love, that is like one in 2 million or something like that, like almost zero. Irene says you can't get married with no bride price. I hope even the groom prices should be paid. I know, right? I think it's in India that they pay groom prices. Like it's the other way around in India, but in China, that's what it is like for them. So it's like even like, and I could understand, like after I had a conversation with him and I was seeing all this news about Chinese people migrating, I could understand why. And these are like illegal migrations. So I heard they walked for like how many weeks through the desert and through Mexico. You guys know Mexico is like the easiest way people enter America these days. And you see them with like their families and with like even children. And so many and I'm just like, hey, where in this world is somebody going to be safe? And earlier on, when I was seeing that, when I was watching that live stream of Diana, I mean, we had even people who were saying things like the general advice, which is also something that I personally agree with, and that I feel like we should really, really look into, is that even as a person who is living in the West, as an African who is living in China or living in some other part, in some other country of the world, always invest back home. Like always invest back home. Nothing beats having something back in your country. If worst comes to worst, if tomorrow they said everybody go back to your country, so you don't go back home and start from scratch. And I don't know, sometimes I feel like this is actually something that can happen, because the way this world is going, you never can tell. So what if they come and they say, okay, everybody go back to your country, go back to where you were born? Let's not be stranded, because sometimes people can get carried away living in China, living in the West. And I feel like in China especially, permit me to say, because I mean, China, where there's like easy life and there's so many things to spend money on, let me put it that way, so many comforts, so many life comforts. So you see people who are like working, some people are working, like even for students actually. So many of us, like, we're getting scholarships, but we're not even putting that money to good use. So you see people just blowing money and living life here in China as if there's no tomorrow. And it's like, what are you doing? What if tomorrow Chinese people say, okay, that's it, everybody go home, we're done? It's like your source of money will be cut, your this will be cut, and what are you gonna do? So I think it's important, number one, that we have that idea of always investing back home. And let's also start having the idea of going home, actually, because I mean, Naya is one, Molly is another person. Like these two people, any video I post, they are just like, going back to Africa should be on our mind, like. And I understand that sometimes it can also stem from our experiences, right? And it's not just them. I know a couple of people also that their focus is really about going back home. Like for us Nigerians, our focus is going back to Nigeria. I mean, I know there's some people from Ghana and other countries as well. So I don't know. I have a feeling Ella is even on this. Ella is on this table as well, because last time I interviewed Ella was like, how is China? Ella is like, that she prefers home. Ella, am I lying? But I think that focus should also not like disappear from our head, from our minds, because as much as living in China is cool, is comfortable, a lot of things, like sometimes I feel like it's even too comfortable to be true, if you get what I mean. Like the comfort sometimes gets to an alarming level. So it's good, but the thing now is like, if you are removed from this society, if you are removed from this place of so much comfort and convenience, and you are put in a place where there is less, are you going to be able to survive? Do you get, like, are you going to be able to still thrive? And this is also like one of the problems I feel like people who want to relocate or go back to Africa are having. I think Molly was even the one who suggested to me that Ella, Molly who suggested to me that I should also interview people who have gone back home, and I've made some contacts hoping to bring also to you guys the experiences of people who have gone back home from China, because recently on the channel we've been running the Japa series, and I've been interviewing people who have left China to other countries of the world. And I actually started this series because a lot of people were asking me, how they can go from China to America, from China to Canada, and things like that. So I'm like, okay, let me talk to these people that I know that have moved. So while we are exploring, leaving China to other parts of the world, I mean, there are so many people. Even recently, Middle East, Middle East, basically, they hosted them and Japan Nation. They hosted people who have left China to other countries, talking about what it's like for them. And in as much as I know that there are people who want to leave China to other countries of the world, there are still people who want to go home. Molly says, I really want to go back to Africa. I'm preparing, actually. Molly, I would have really loved you to talk to us, but it's okay. Because I want to know what the thought process is like for those of us who like really want to go back home. Molly, I know that you've hinted about raising children here. You said something about name calling. I don't really, or I didn't really understand it. Is it a situation whereby it's like, is it the teachers who are calling your the kids names, or is it fellow children? Because I mean, if the child is like a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old, I presume that their classmates will also be 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds. So is it the same little children, that are being rude and things like that to the child? And I know that, of course, when the children grow bigger and you start to, teach them these things for them to be prepared. Molly says, I'm preparing, actually. Honestly, I'm not even going to lie. This is also something that worries me about raising my kid long term in China, right? I've had a lot of people ask me, what it's like raising children in China. And I even have a video. I've postponed this video for the longest time, but I want to make a video, about raising a child, in China and things like that. But talking about these experiences, like going to school, for example, meeting with other Chinese children, that for most part, like when our children go to like Chinese kindergartens or Chinese primary schools, they might be like the only black kid in the whole school. Depending on where you are, they might just be like the only black child. And in that kind of situation, it's like a whole lot of attention is on you. It's like everybody knows you always stand out. And sometimes that attention can be tiring. It can be a lot to deal with sometimes. So it's important that we just prepare ourselves and prepare our children. If you feel like you and your children are going to be here for a long time, there's this channel I also follow on YouTube. I think the Black Experience Japan, and it's just this guy also talking about being black in Japan and things like that, and also what it's like for children. And I feel like there are a lot of similarities, like in Asia, there are a lot of similarities with raising children and things like that as black people. So that's why I follow the channel, because I can relate to some of the things that they experience as well. But now the thing is, because for a lot of us, me particularly, I'm not even going to lie, you guys know, me, I used to talk my own the way it is. My plan used to be stay in China for a while, then leave China for like another Western country, maybe Canada or UK or Australia. Because I mean, we know that those societies can be more welcoming, more open, more like easier to integrate into the system, if you know what I mean, and easier to kind of like get citizenship, basically, which is what a lot of us are looking for. Okay, some of us that come from countries that need the help of God, we are kind of on a mission to get like a second citizenship for our children, even if not for us. I mean, we're already grown, okay? We can do without the second citizenship or the second passport. But for like for our children, it has just always been a dream to get a second passport for our children. Okay, so Naya is sending me a private chat. Exactly, they may be the only African. Yes, they may be the only African in that place. So, yeah, like I was saying, I want, it's something that I want for my children. I want them to have like a passport, and not just a second passport, a second passport that has some kind of power, you know, passport that you can use to travel easily to places. We all know what it's like when you go to maybe a particular country's border and you show them a green passport. All of a sudden, you see like 10 immigration officers around you, searching you from head to toe. They'll turn you upside down and shake you to make sure that, you know, you're not carrying anything. We know what it's like. So personally, I've always wanted a situation where my children can get a second passport. And that's even why I was thinking, oh, when we leave China, maybe we'll go to one of these other countries, right? So that when they grow up there, they will get citizenship and all of that. But with the way these things are happening now, with these alphabet people, the
My dear, I used to take all the
the right now it seems like because it's a thing where it's like you can because people will say, oh, train your children from small. Yes, we're going to do all of that. We're going to train our children the right way. We're going to tell them the right things, teach them the truth. But your children are gonna go out and they're gonna meet with other children. Now, what you don't know what those other children's parents have taught them, and there's gonna be an exchange whether you like it or not. There's always going to be exchange. Like when children become of school age, the statistics is that they spend more hours away from you than they do with you. So that's why even now that my baby is still home with me, I just try to soak up and, you know, get all the cuddles and all the love that I need before by the time they start growing up and start showing their own little personalities, and, you know, they go to school, they meet with other people, and you don't know, sorry, you don't know what these other children, their orientation is like. I mean, for some of these families in the West, you have families whereby it's like the same gender parents. So you have a man and a man raising children, you have a woman and a woman raising children. So obviously the children that come from such homes, they already have this ideology that, okay, this is right, or this is something that is good. Now, when those children meet with your children, what do you think is gonna happen? And I know that as like children are like very very, I don't know, very, I don't want to say gullible, but gullible is actually like close to the word I'm supposed to use. Like children can easily grab things, especially when they are talking, when they are relating with like people of their own age mates. I mean, when I see sometimes like these days when I see children do things as an adult, I'm just like, but why are kids this, I don't want to say dumb, but if you think about it, we used to be like that. Like we used to be like that as children, because as kids, you so much value the opinion of maybe your friends. You value what they say. I remember as a child, maybe if you go to school and your uniform is torn or something, and maybe someone makes fun of you and like, oh, her uniform is torn, ha 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 ha. You will feel like dying. You feel like the ground should just open, let it fall inside. Like you feel so bad and feel so hurt. Or maybe your hair is some type of way and someone makes fun of your hair. Like you feel so bad because somehow you want the validation from those people. You want the validation of your classmates. You want the validation of your friends, right? And now that we are grown, I mean, if someone just comes and makes fun of your hair, it might just be like, what's wrong with this one? Like you care less, right? Because as an adult, you are better equipped to handle what people's opinions are and still hold yourself high, right? But for children, it's not like that. So for children, for the most part, they're influenced by the people that they move with, by the people that they meet on a day-to-day basis. Now imagine you're raising your children in this time, in this kind of society, and they go to school, and everyone around them is, they are preaching this alphabet gospel. What do you think, like, how well can you equip that child to be able to resist or fight against these things? And it's crazy because, and I actually like that now a lot of people are speaking against these things, because at first when they were just doing it with adults, and when it was just, two adults will come and say, okay, I was born a male, but in my spirit, in my heart, in my soul, I feel like I'm a woman trapped in the wrong body. So they now go and bring their original body. When it was just two adults, people were like, oh, okay, as long as they're not hurting anybody, let them be and things like that. But now it's like it's not like a propaganda. Like, they want everybody to accept this thing. They want to, like, literally force it down our throats. So you go to, like, supermarkets. I've seen videos of, like, Target, like, and they're putting all these, like, swimsuits for, like, boys who identify as girls, and you have, like, the talk area where you can talk in, like, your reproductive organ, and it's just a lot. Okay, it's just a whole lot that is going on. So honestly, I'm starting to rethink. I'm starting to rethink my decision though. I'm not even going to lie. I'm starting to think that, okay, but this Canada that I want to go, is it really where I should be going? Like, with the way things are going, because obviously we know that these things are only going to get worse. I feel like 2023 is that year where it's like, of course, this thing has been, like, coming gradually, gradually, gradually. But 2023 is like a lot of things, like, they're bringing it with full force now, and we know that it's only going to get worse. So now I'm thinking, should I really be thinking of moving to the West at this stage of life, at this stage of development happening in the world? We know about, the recession looming in the West, with so many, like, economies under attack. Of course, the dollar is weakening every day by day. Russia and Ukraine are still at war. It's inflation right now is crazy. Like, the prices of things are so expensive. And it's really crazy right now. And I know that as Africans, we're complaining of these things from back home, but the truth is that it's not just back home that these things are expensive, right? It's not just back home that things are bad. However, I know that because of, like, a system that is not working, it seems like it's worse back home, because in back home you now also have things like insecurity and all of that. But for, like, the West, maybe insecurity is not so bad, but the inflation is still there. Like, cost of living is still getting higher, while the salary, or let's say income, isn't necessarily getting higher. I feel like in China, I mean, in as much as China has been cool and we've been enjoying China, I feel like China, since COVID, this is just my personal um like, my personal experience. I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but I feel like since COVID, things have kind of, like, become more expensive. Or if it's just me, you guys should let me know. I feel like things have started becoming more expensive. Like, when it comes to food stuff, I even remember some things that I buy online as well. Like, you buy something, and, like, I bought something, let me just say 2022, like, during that time, 2021, 2022, I used to buy something like a carton of something for, like, 30 something yuan. And then recently I just remember that particular product, and I was like, oh, let me go and buy it again, only for me to see that it has gone to, like, 40 something or even 50 something. So, and it's like the change is not very little, that you cannot, like, observe it, right? So, I mean, if it was increased by 1 or 2 kwais, you might not remember. But if you remember that you paid 3 and like 30 something for something, and all of a sudden you're saying 50 something. It's like a jump in price. So you're like, why is this not this expensive? So even the inflation is also affecting us here in China a bit, honestly. Ella says, that's true. My sister, it's not only you. The West is scary for our kids. Scary. If it was just us, we are equipped, but our children, exactly. We even have alphabet emojis. Girl is crazy. These emojis, these emojis matter. It's a story for another day. Do you know now? Before I send emoji, like I have to look carefully. Like if I tell you the amount of time I spend trying to make sure that the emoji I'm sending is not something else, because sometimes it's even difficult to like make out the actual emojis, because I've tried to send an emoji before where it's like, okay, maybe two people like married and the love sign in between. I don't know if you've seen that emoji when I'm trying to write something about love or marriage. But if you just type marriage, or if you just type love, you know how they suggest emojis to you? The emoji they will suggest to you is the emoji of a man and a man. I swear down. You can pick your phone now and type. I don't know what the word is again. It's either love or marriage or something. They will give you the emoji of a man and love in between them. You're the one that will now say no. You now go and search for the one that has a man and a woman and love between them. So I'm just like, what's happening? What is happening? And like Ella said, if it was just us, yes, at least us that okay, you've grown, you have a sense of right or wrong. I mean, if at my age now I decide to go to the West or go to one of these countries and somehow foolishly agree or start believing or start, agreeing that okay, yes, so a man and man can come together and it's okay, then I need deliverance. But for children, it's not really the same. Like the children are very easily impressionable. And that's why earlier today I was even having a conversation with my husband. I was like, as parents, okay, let me just say this because I think a lot of us here are like parents and even aspiring parents as well. As parents and especially as Christians, it's high time that we actually start modeling, the right things to our children, not just telling them. Like you basically leave out what you want your children to be, because these days there are a lot of voices. Like so many people are saying so many things. Your children, you just the same way you tell them, okay, this is this, they will go out and they will hear that is that. They'll watch television, they'll hear those are those. They will scroll their iPad, they'll hear, like, it's like so many voices, right? So more than just telling them, okay, this is right, this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do, we need to like leave it out. Like let your children see, let them see the way you and your husband or you and your like their father, basically the way you people relate. Let them see that okay, this is, there is some like, the family unit is made up of a man, or should be made up of a man, a woman, that come together to reproduce children. And they see the love, they see the way you are kind with each other or to each other. It's like they learn how to be a good human being from you. And of course they learn Christian values as well. For those of us who are Christians, it's very, very important that we actually live out Christian lifestyles for our children to learn, because there are so many things, so many places that can teach them things that we don't want them to learn. So now we are talking about, okay, maybe we should be canceling the West right now, because not like we're making any decisions, no, but we're just following the trend, right? And I think it's also important that even as we're making our decisions, let's keep ourselves informed. And this is which is something I really appreciate Diana Ekweme for. I mean, I know a lot of people a lot of people are labeling her fear monger. Or is it fear monger? Is it fear monger or monger? I'm not sure right now of the correct English. But a lot of people are saying, oh, she's doing conspiracy theory. She's seeing things, like she's making mountain out of molehills and things like that. But she's just trying to say, I'm not trying to put fear in you, I'm just trying to enlighten you, I'm just trying to make you awake. So before you pack yourself and say, oh, I want to migrate to this country, or oh, I want to go to this country, it's like, sit down, count the cost. Apart from counting the cost, like, do research, know what is really going to be beneficial to you and to your future plans, because it's not just about you right now. And like I said, there are so many people who are moving from China to other parts of the world. I don't know if anyone among us here like have plans to migrate to like other parts of the world and things like that. But if you do, this is like a wake up call for us to know that, okay, the world is going in this direction, the world is going in this pattern. Where do I want to be? Like, while all these things are going on. And even while we are doing that, let us be developing our motherland. Honestly, I feel like at this point we really need to go and develop our country. Now, developing our country, you don't necessarily have to be there, but somehow just set up things for yourself back home. Because Christians among us, we know, okay, that these are also like signs of the end time. These are, the Bible calls it birth pangs, right? It's like, and this is like the beginning of things. Like, things are just going to get worse and worse. Again, we're not fear mongering. If you're a Christian, you read scriptures, you know these things. So I feel like for us Christians, we're not necessarily surprised, we're not necessarily shocked. If you read the Bible, if you read scriptures, these are things that have been foretold. Okay, the whole economy crashing, countries being at war with each other, famine, and of course, what is famine if not people unable to afford 3 square meals, people unable to eat, people unable to like afford food because of inflation and things like that. So these are just things that are just going to get worse. So we just really need to think and also be informed, be informed of like things that are going on, especially for us living in China. I'm also going to like encourage us to just be informed of what's also going on in China. All these news that they share in groups, don't always ignore them. Don't always ignore them, read them. Like, when they say, oh, China has released new policy, read it, try to find out what it is. Like, try to understand what the Chinese people they are doing, what are the policies they are releasing that are going to affect foreigners, what are the policies they are releasing about jobs, what are the policies they are, so many things. Because like, even when it comes to like even jobs right now, for people who are even working, if you want to have a sustainable working career in China, you need to update yourself, like upgrade yourself, rather upgrade your CV. If you need to take courses, if you need to get more certifications, maybe if you want to go into like the teaching full time, maybe you need to do PGCE, you need to write some of these teaching certification, early childhood development exams, get the certificates from maybe schools from the west, like schools outside China, because we know how they see, when they see certificate from Harvard and Oxford and things like that, oh, they are like, you are like hotcakes. So if you can afford it, I mean, some of those exams can be expensive, but if you really want to pursue like a teaching career in China, it's something that you should look into, writing and getting the certificate. So you have to like constantly upgrade yourself, constantly inform yourself of things that are going on. Personally, honestly, when I start to think about all of these things going on, I get so many different feelings. As a Christian, right? And I read my Bible, and it's like you're just seeing things that you read in the Bible come to life, like things that you are reading is actually happening. So I feel like for me, there's some excitement that comes with it. I don't know if I'm the only one. Then you guys should let me know. There's some excitement that comes with it. I'm just like, wow. So these things are actually real, like the way things are happening. Then on the other hand, I have a feeling of, I want to see how this plays out. Like, I want to see how, especially with like the whole superpower war between China and America. I want to see who plays. I want to see if China is going to win this this fight or this war or whatever. Of course, that America, they are still trying to say, oh no, the dollar is still it's still strong. Yeah, we're just having mild recession. They call it mild recession. Meanwhile, it's like things are getting out of hand already. But I'm really just excited to see how this plays out. And while I'm excited to see how it plays out, I am going to be on the lookout for information, basically. So there, you can actually just go on YouTube or go to Google and just search economic or basically economic how will I put it, like US economic situation or dollar situation, or like if you want to know what is happening like in these countries. And we know that even the dollar is also like the dollar weakening is also affecting like so many other different countries. So maybe if you want to move to a particular place, again, I'm not saying don't move, or if I mean I'm still going to be interviewing my people who have Japan. So if you want to like leave China to other countries of the world, all you have to do is research about this place, know okay, how are things in this place when it comes to like getting jobs, when it comes to like raising families, how are they these people that are carrying alphabet people on their head and things like that, right? So and then you just choose wisely, set your priorities right. And but I feel like for parents, for people who have started raising families already, it should be like a priority. Maybe for single people, you can still just decide to go to that country and hustle, work for a few years. Then when you want to settle down, you can go elsewhere and settle down. It's up to you. It's still an option. So it's not like don't go to those countries at all. No, but if you want to settle there long term, then these are things that you have to consider. So I feel like all in all, we should just really put our ears on the ground for information, for things that are happening all around the world, and for how we can just forge ahead, basically. You guys, Naya, are you there? Nobody else wants to come on the live stream. Let me see.
Oh, I'm here. Yeah, well done. I'm here to give you moral support.
Oh, thank you.
Well done.
Thank you for your moral support. So you guys, let me know what you think again. I just decided to come on here and catch up with you guys because it's been a while. I actually had planned to shoot a video about this particular topic, telling you guys like when it was first released, like some weeks or about a month ago. I wanted to like make a video about it, but I just couldn't get around to doing it. And I know that you guys I have been posting videos like my interview videos, but the truth is that I haven't actually filmed in like a long time, like months. I think the last time I vlogged was my birthday in April. Honestly, like my birthday vlog and all those videos are coming up. It's just your girl, crazy stuff. Your girl has been very busy, but I mean now school is going on holiday, right? So we're going to have summer break and all of that. So I'm just going to I can't wait to just get all those birthday and anniversary content out of the way because it's been like 2 whole months. I'm ashamed at this point, honestly. But I'm going to get those videos out, then I will get back into normal vlogging. I actually miss like vlogging, like so many things have been happening that I've not even updated you guys about. Maybe when I want to start vlogging again, I'll do like a live update to fill you guys in. A whole lot has happened. But yeah, that's what I came here to gist with you people. That's why I came here to just do. So I hope that you guys have been well. I would like to know what you guys have been up to as well of recent. What is happening at your end? What is the latest? Irene says, well, everywhere in the world things are not easy. True. True. Everywhere, like nowhere is perfect. You can literally nowhere is perfect. So it's just for you to find the things that you can manage, honestly. Now, what are summer plans? What are the summer plans like?
There's no any plan, anything. You want to take me out? Let me plan now as I come into place. No plan.
um, honestly, and let me even tell you guys, is it just me, or does it seem like now that after China opened their borders, like a lot of people like are coming into China, and not just people, but like families. A lot of people are bringing their families. Like a lot of people are bringing their moms, bringing like their families basically through the family visa. I just realized there are lots of people, and I'm just like so happy for them and so thrilled for them, because it's just showing like how much people have missed like their families, like all through this COVID period. And personally, I can't believe that it is going to 4 years now since I last saw my family people, my mom and things like that. Gosh, I miss them so much. And I'm even like I'm praying that things will balance well, so that maybe we can go home and things like that for and visit. I mean, now that the borders are open, you can always visit and come back. And it's just it's money, it's money that is the cocoa flight ticket. So you can always take a visit back to the motherland, like some people call it. You can always take a visit back home and find out, see for yourself how things are. You can just visit Africa. I mean, if you want to move back home, you don't have to move at once. For those of us that are considering, going back home, you don't have to move all at once. You can just take a break, maybe summer break or winter break. You go home and you kind of like test the waters, okay, if that makes sense. Kind of like feel what it's like being back in Africa and being back home basically. But like I said, I'm going to it's just that, honestly speaking, there are not a lot of people that I know that have gone home from China. I know more of the people I know relocated to another country from China, okay? Even the ones that went back home, they went back home, stayed for a little while, then relocated. But I'm finding some people that I will talk to, so that they can also share with us what their experience have been like ever since they left China and went back home. So you guys stay tuned. There's going to be there are going to be content of like, yeah, there are going to be videos of people who have gone home and how they are adjusting. I feel like those videos will be very interesting and helpful, especially for people like us that also we're thinking of going home and things like that. Irene says home is the best, but if you get the opportunity, grab it and invest in your country. Yes, yes, definitely, definitely. I mean, for people that are in the West, before you buy a house in, say, America or Canada or something like that, first buy a house back home, or first build a house, because we build houses back home, we don't buy. So first get a land, like even from that your small savings, try to buy at least a plot of land. Any 5 naira you get, you put one block. You get 10 naira, you put another one. Stop waiting for maybe when you get a lot of money, and then you now go and do one big mansion, one big investment. Honestly, I think little by little will also like yield great results. But just the main idea is just to have it at the back of our mind that, okay, I need to invest back home, okay, I need to set up something back home, especially if you want to like relocate back home, not to go any other place from China. Then you should have solid plans, because I feel like that's one thing that we really need to know. If you're going back home, your plan needs to be solid, okay? That's what me I feel. Otherwise, you might have a hard time. So thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for coming on the live stream. I think we're going to call it tonight, because it's 10:27 p.m. and tomorrow is Monday. Tomorrow the hustle continues. The hustle of living in China. Living in China is a job. It's a job description. Honestly, sometimes when I pray, or when I'm praying with like people or my friends, and I'm like, you guys, let's pray for strength to continue living in China. I remember the first day I made that prayer point, and then someone like literally someone backed me up, and they're just like, yes, she's making a point. You guys, we really need strength to live in this country. And I'm like, thank God I'm not the only one, because hey, sometimes like you just need to pray for strength, okay? Different kind of strength to deal with so many things. I mean, like I tell people that I don't always come on my channel to talk about the struggles or the hard part of living in China, because I don't just like that, I don't like the attitude of negativity around me. I can be a realist, but I'm also a very positive person. I'm not going to ignore or say that these things are not happening or that these things are not real. But at the same time, I try to focus on the positives. But what I can tell you is that when you kneel down tonight to pray before you sleep, tell God to give you strength to continue to live and thrive in China. Irene says, you are right. We really need strength in this country. You know this. You know this. You know this. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you are good and you are well. Thank you so much, Naya. Thank you for
You're
your
welcome. I've been here
contribution.
shouting, yes, it's true. We need to. I didn't know my mic was muted.
Oh,
I was saying, yes, we need strength to live here. Huh?
oh. We
Thank
hear
you
you now.
for, yes. Let's
Yeah.
do this some other time. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too. Maybe we can do it at your end. What you think?
Okay, no problem.
Okay, cool.
Good
So
night.
thank you guys. Good night. Have a wonderful week ahead. God
And
bless you.
you too.
Bye.
Bye.